Hi guys, how's it going? This is your weekly horoscope, and I don't know about you, but January has been a super intense month for me. It's been really crazy emotionally. So let's have a look at what's going on in this final week of the month to see if things calm down or if they get more intense. This is your weekly horoscope for Monday, the 30th of January, going through until Sunday, the 5th of February. Okay, so last 2 days, I suppose. Now, Monday, the 30th of January, the moon is in Pisces, it conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, and it sextiles Pluto and Mercury in Capricorn. Now, this is a day of intense balance between the emotional and physical. And what I mean by that is if you feel it, if you sense it, if it's something that you're kind of thinking about, if it's something that you're considering, then immediately it's going to make sense to put it into action. So there's no gap, there's no distance between what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking and what I'm actually doing. It's one and the same. So Monday here at the end of the month, there's real potential for you to be reckless and to act on your feelings and to really do things that shouldn't be that aren't good for you just because you feel them in this moment. So you're really likely to think along terms of the short term instead of the long term effects of your life and what you're doing. It's kind of like instant gratification in the here and now. On Tuesday, the 31st of January, the moon goes into Aries. That's at 48 minutes past 9 in the evening. That's based on London time. And the moon is really the way you feel. And in Aries, it immediately picks up the pace. It's much quicker. It's much more about you getting things done. And also, the moon then conjuncts Venus in Pisces. So on Tuesday, you're going to feel particularly intense and rash. You will feel that your way of feeling and seeing the world and doing things is really the correct way. And also, you're going to feel a little bit over the top when it comes to your romantic feelings. I think you're likely to rush into things, to make commitments that are kind of not fully thought out, and to just kind of take your feelings and run with them. And that's what I've been experiencing for a lot of January, is that it's just been like this emotional tsunami. It's been really a lot, okay? Now, Wednesday, the 1st of February, we're moving into February. The moon is still in Aries here. It sextiles the sun in Aquarius, and the moon in Aries squares Pluto in Capricorn. So, you're feeling less emotional now by Wednesday. Things are cooling off. So it's literally a January thing, I suppose. So you're cooling off now. You're more focused on taking action, making changes, and also including other people in those actions and making positive changes for everybody. So when Wednesday comes around, that's the big change. Okay? So we're really going in a different direction now. So you're going from total self-focus, my feelings, my actions, what I want in the here and now, what I wanted yesterday. And then on Wednesday, it's like, okay, we're feeling calmer. We feel less driven to kind of go for it. And we can actually take practical actions. Now, Thursday, the 2nd of February, the moon is still in Aries and it forms a lot of relationships with the other planets and luminaries. It trines Saturn in Sagittarius and conjuncts Uranus in Aries. It opposes Jupiter in Libra and it squares Pluto and Mercury in Capricorn. So it's a complicated day. It's a really great day to focus on your own needs, on your own project, and what you can do to make changes in those. Okay, so if you have to work with people on things, Wednesday is a better day for it. Thursday, you really want to be working on your own thing in your own way as the expert, and you don't particularly want to be overly challenged all the time. You have a clear vision of what you're doing and how you want it done, and you don't want to be constantly explaining it to someone else. You have a shorter fuse, your temper may flare up, or you may run out of patience. Now the moon goes into Taurus at 1:51 in the morning, and that's on Friday the 3rd of February. Again, we've got a big change here. Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, she goes from the very kind of feeling, sensitive sign of Pisces, and she moves into Aries. Now, Venus in Aries is a lot tougher, a lot harsher, a lot more focused on getting her own needs met. And I think some of you have been picking up on that already here at the end of January, which is all about my feelings, my needs, let's get those met. Now, the interesting thing about Venus here is that Venus goes into retrograde in March, okay? So it's moving forward and then it appears to be going backwards in March. So it's back and forth between signs, and it's going to touch on Aries until June. So Venus in Aries is going to be something that we're going to be talking about for a while because of this retrograde. And Venus in Aries is really about, think of Venus as, you know, the Roman goddess of love and beauty as well, the Greek goddess Aphrodite. In the 90s, there was this fabulous TV show that I always watched when I was a teenager called Hercules, The Adventures of Hercules. I loved it. And Aphrodite, they had Aphrodite in that show. And she was the ditziest, funniest goddess ever. She wore these flowing pink robes. She was always making out with someone, totally irresponsible, just kind of interested in having fun, pleasure, all of that stuff. In Aries, she's really saying, I want him, I'm going to get him, and even Hercules isn't going to stop me. It's really kind of intense, it's passion, and it's a lot, and it can feel a little bit unpleasant because it's like so intense. And when it comes to you and romance, there's potential here for anger. There's potential to say, I'm not getting what I want, I don't care anymore, I'm not getting my needs met. So, on Friday the 3rd of February, with the moon in Taurus, there's a greater sense of sensuality, physicality, because Taurus is ruled by Venus and it's about the body. It's the most earthy of all the signs. But then with Venus going into Aries, you become tougher in relationships, you become less compromising, you become more along the lines of it's my way or the highway. And these are my needs and what I want, and that's what I'm focused on, okay? Are you asking, are her needs being met? Are his desires being fulfilled? No. You're saying, me, my needs, what's he doing for me? So that is, we all know that's not, you can do that, I suppose it's important to do that once in a while in a relationship to make sure you're not compromising all the time. But if it's just me, then other people can get exhausted by that, they can get turned off by it, and it can become really an unpleasant environment. Saturday the 4th of February, we've got the first quarter moon at 4:20 in the morning. So the first quarter moon is like the pit stop between the new moon and the full moon. The moon is building up, it's getting bigger and bigger, and there's a sense of energy coming in. There's like this sense of anticipation, like a drum roll, okay? The moon is still in Taurus. Again, it forms lots of relationships with other planets. It trines Pluto in Capricorn, it sextiles Chiron in Pisces, and it quincunxes Jupiter in Libra and Saturn in Sagittarius. So there's a great sense of build-up and energy. Sports, activity, new project, all of these things are great for you to look into because you feel like, oh, I'm going to go for it, okay? Now, and also what's interesting, I'm going to say the sex word, but what I've noticed on my channel is that whenever I talk about sex, people don't like it. I don't know why. But there's an influence today that is about sex, okay? So I'm going to talk about it. So sex is going to seem really significant and important to you. Not the actual act of sex. That's not going to feel, like if you're actually having sex on Saturday, it's not going to feel more meaningful or profound than it usually would. It's the concept of sex that seems suddenly much more important. So if you're single and you haven't had sex in a long time, it's going to potentially start to bother you that that is not part of your life. If you're in a relationship and the sex is problematic or not the way you would want it to be, it's likely that the concept of the sex in your relationship may become a contentious issue, and you may not, you may give it more significance than you would on other normal days. So this is another sign of you just becoming more focused on the self, my needs, what I want, the way I want it, the way I like it. It's all the same thing. Do you see the trend here? We're going, I mean, at the beginning of the week, you're totally like in your own little bubble. My feelings, my world. Then in the middle of the week, you actually get on with other people. You do some work here. You think about other people. And now here at the end of the week, it's back to me via my most intimate personal relationships. So, you know, the act of sex, the concept of sex is about two people. If you think of it on a spiritual level, you know, the chakra system and things, it's connecting people at the root chakra, the base chakra, the most basic material earthy thing. So we're really grounded at the moment. We're really focusing on earthy material stuff. Where's the spiritual stuff? Where's the meeting of the minds? You know, where's the, I love the way he talks to his niece, or she's so generous, or all of the stuff that has nothing to do with the body, with the earth. And that's totally gone out the window. And you're just really here on Saturday thinking, you know, have I had my needs met? Am I feeling passionate and excited and enthusiastic? And we all know that that is not, I mean, it's great when it's happened, but it's not something you can demand. If you do demand it, you might have a problem. Okay. Where are we now? We're going into Sunday the 5th of February. The moon goes into Gemini at 4:45 in the morning. And the moon in Gemini is much more about information and ideas and sharing ideas and thinking. And also, very interestingly, the outer planet, the planet of good luck and good fortune, the amazing planet of growth that we all love, Jupiter, goes retrograde. And it stays in retrograde for about 4 months. And it doesn't mean that we run out of good luck or anything like that. It still gives us the good luck and it still affects us in a positive way. But in traditional astrology, Jupiter used to rule Pisces. And it's a good time during this retrograde, this 4-month period, to really reflect and to reevaluate your own beliefs and what you put your energy into. And ask yourself, is what I'm doing constructive? And that's actually really well timed, because you've come out of a month and a week of completely being, well, I'm kind of talking about myself a little bit here, but really feeling stuck in my own bubble, my own feelings, my own world, my desires, my wants. And as far as the astrology is concerned, it reflects that. So you may have been experiencing that too. So now we're coming out of that period. We can ask ourselves, okay, all of the stuff that I was so focused on and that seemed so important and I thought that was so relevant, has that really been constructive? And ask yourself that question. And now this moon in Gemini here on Sunday the 5th as well is really helpful in giving you ideas and helping inspiration and clarity flow more easily, and to actually come up with some answers to some of the things that you've been doing and some of the things that you've put energy into and some of the things that you've really found very valuable and important. So the winds of change are blowing. Things are moving in a more positive direction here, especially going into February, I feel, because it becomes less about you, and it becomes more about you in the context of other people and the world at large. And that's a much more maintainable, constructive way to live. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. What I do is, this is the forecast for everybody. This is what's going on in the heavens. But what we can do is we can draw up your birth chart. I do that by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. And then I've got literally the way the sky looked at the moment you were born in front of me, when I can put the transits around that and see how these transits are impacting you specifically as an individual, and to see what's coming up for you in 2017 and beyond, and to answer questions on finances and love and romance and life purpose and all of those things. So it's gregoryscott.com. Just click on the readings tab to order your reading with me there. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you next week.